Shania, Zoe, and Dawn, and the fact that they are all in Natasha business. Shania, yo side chick, just got to deal with Natasha, and now Dawn is involved. The only reason that Dawn is involved is because the fact of the situation with her baby daddy and the fact that he wants to see Natasha. Girl, that's the only reason you are getting involved in this. You are trying to sabotage your sister. And that is sad over a man that you messed around with that she was engaged to. See, it just seemed to me like you are jealous of your sister because, number one, your sister is the one that's successful. Your sister is the one that gets these very, attractive men, and she has access to certain men that you don't. And the fact that you messed around with her ex fiance is beyond crazy to me. But they need to go ahead on and bring him into town the same way they brought Brittany's daddy back in town. Now, as for Hulk, you need to get together, bro. Just get away from all of that because you can't keep going back and forth to jail. This time, if you go back, they may not even let you out at this point. Bro, you got your freedom. Why would you go back to the gang for? That's stupid. Bro, you have other options. You got Mike and Ralphie, and they can introduce you to other people that can basically help you get where you need to get. Bro, get away from all of that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All these dudes be getting all these tattoos, and then they get out, and it's hard for them to find a job because they got all these tattoos, which is crazy to me. But that's a whole nother God-forsaken story. But as far as Drew confronting what's her name cousin about her following him, girl, you might want to be careful because you might end up missing. But Sarah, when you find out that Athena is pregnant by that man and the whole entire story of that situation, girl, you better get rid of Athena. Athena is trouble. And everywhere Athena goes, trouble comes with her. And even though she's trying to change her life, trouble just seems to find her. Now, don't get me wrong. The fact that this man is trying to get back in Athena's life, there's a reason behind that. The way that he met Mike, something about that ain't right. And now she's pregnant by him. And that girl still ain't got an abortion. She gonna have that baby. And like I said, I think her and Mike gonna end up raising that baby. Because he gonna end up back in jail. But as for Sarah, I do feel bad for her because of the situation. With this situation, she don't know the whole entire facts. Do I think that she needs to get to know her biological mother? Absolutely. But I think when she confronts her and she tell her what happened, she's going to be devastated. But the question is, who is her father? So if he's not the father, then who is the father? So this is about to be very interesting. So, like I said, we're going to have to sit back and wait and see how that pretty much plays out. But going back to the situation with, I'm trying to think, the situation with Jocelyn and Ralphie. I'm glad they're finding their way back to each other, but I got a feeling they're gonna bring Ty back eventually. But Ty gonna have to accept the fact that Jocelyn is with Ralphie, and he gonna have to just accept the fact that that's over with. But then again, if he go back, he might end up in prison. So I don't think he's coming back, cause then he still got to deal with the situation with Rico, and Lo gonna be trying to shoot him. So ain't no telling how that's gonna turn out. With the situation with I'm trying to think. With Tamara, I think them dudes gonna try to kidnap her, and she gonna be in trouble all over again. And guess who gonna have to save her? Of course, uh, D gonna have to save her. Cause when he find out that them dudes are gonna go after her because of the situation with that pastor, he gonna be pissed when he find out about that. And that I think that's what's gonna bring them together. And I think this time, I don't think they breaking up this time. Because I think after all of this, I think they're gonna end up getting married, and I don't think they're gonna have really any more issues at this point. Cause the fact that he's gonna risk his life for her, they both gonna realize they meant to be together. Sometimes it takes stuff like this, a few things for people to understand this is your person. But it shouldn't have came down to all of this. But the fact that but the only problem is that she gonna have to deal with his mother and the fact of everything that happened. So she better pray to God that she don't find out about Zeus and all this stuff, because their mama is not gonna want her with D. I promise you. So even though after everything they've been through, they gonna finally find their way back to each other, I don't think their mama or D's father gonna go for that. Don is not gonna go for that, and neither is his mama. And that might be the one time they might join forces to get rid of Tamara. That's gonna be bad. Now, as for Malachi, the fact that he met this new girl, I love that she said, if it's meant to be, then I'll give you my phone number. I love that. I got a feeling that they're intentionally gonna meet at that same place at the same time, and he gonna end up meeting her again, and he's gonna get to know her. But don't introduce her to Mike. Malachi, keep this like you did with Glow. Keep that private for a while. As for Dominique, girl, I get you trying to help Rashad. And Rashad, you got old girl, and you taking that medication, and it seemed to be working for you. But I pray that it don't have any side effects that you will end up in the hospital for taking too much of it. Now, as for Dom, girl, I got a feeling he gonna try to get with Glow, and I got a feeling him and Glow gonna end up getting it in, and that's how he gonna get caught. Because the fact that you didn't ask her what was said, the fact that you was so quick to believe him over Jocelyn yet again, girl, you gonna have to take your tail between your legs and you have to go over there and apologize to Jocelyn. But when you find out that Jocelyn and Sonny have gotten closer and she's messing with Mike, that is gonna be a mess and a half. Cause you know that Dominique still wants Mike. So now it's gonna be a whole bunch of dynamics. That's why I said please bring Tatiana back so that way she can shut all this stuff down, because Tatiana is the only one that when it come to Mike, Mike will drop everybody for. Just bring her back. Bring her back. So when it comes to Rico, y'all need to go ahead on, and I need y'all to do a do-over in that situation. Because him being in a wheelchair is not cool for none of us. We don't want him in a wheelchair. We want a do-over. Give Rico a do-over. Make this seem like it's a dream and then go backwards. So that way we can bring Ty back. And that way we can do things a little bit different and just do a spinoff with them by themselves. Since Diva is no longer the game, we can basically make Ty and Rico a do-over and do the whole thing differently and basically essentially put them on a separate skit. I would prefer that. Now, as for, this situation with Brittany and Dalen and the fact that she gave him that $20,000 back, and now she about to go talk to Tigger, girl, that man is not going, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. But like I said, it's a lot going on. But eventually, like I said, I predict that Anthony is gonna realize that he screwed his marriage up for no reason. I think in the end, they're both gonna realize that they finally gonna take not only accountability, but I think that they both gonna realize that they let too many people in their relationship, and even though they're gonna go their separate ways, I believe they're gonna learn something valuable in this once the dust settles. I think once the emotions calm down and they finally can sit down and talk and put everything on the table, then Amber's gonna realize that she allowed Shayla to come in and destroy her life, and she's gonna have to take accountability for that. And now this new relationship, she can basically do things much differently. I think with Anthony, he gonna end up with Piari, and I think Shayla gonna end up by herself, because I don't think he gonna end up with Amber. I think he gonna end up with Piari. I don't think he gonna end up with Ro. As for Ro, leave Muhammad alone and going over there to David, because David really loves you. I just think it's time they bring somebody new in for Ro. Somebody ain't got nothing to do with none of them. So, and as for David, I think he's going to tell Rolanda what old girl did and how that happened. But in the end, I think they're going to be fine. But I think that's who she need to end up with. But, like I said, we shall see. But other than that, ain't nothing going on right now at this point. I think I covered everybody. So, like I said, we